His predecessor, Joe Hockey, called them the lifters and the leaners. Now
there is a new divide, the taxed and the tax-nots.
And Scott Morrison says the taxed nots are growing.
More Australians today are likely to go through their entire lives without ever paying tax than for generations.
And more believe the role of government is to provide handouts rather than a hand up. One of several problems he says can't be left for future generations.
I do not want my kids to know what a recession is like.
Laying out the economic landscape ahead of Parliament's return next week, Mr Morrison warned the nation's debt could explode in a decade if his budget cuts continued to be blocked.
That will see our gross debt exceed $1 trillion in a decade.
Well, there he goes again, Scott Morrison, quick to blame everyone else for the problems that he's meant to be in charge of.
Labor says debt has blown out from $257 to $406 billion since the coalition took office.
I think that Mr Morrison and Mr Turnbull need to go to a quiet place, get over the tantrum they've had since the election and start governing.
An insider debate is raging here over whether the budget has a spending problem, a revenue problem or an earnings problem. The truth of the matter, what it has is a political problem. Economist Chris Richardson says the political stalemate on budget repair is making the prospect of recession more likely.
Something has got to trigger a change in our behaviour.
And by our behaviour, he really means their behaviour. Mark Riley, 7 News.